Today we are here with Miss Charmain Hall. We had been here with her before and she gave us a background of what God has done for her in her life. And I want to take this opportunity to not just keep it for ourselves, but let the public know, let other people know that God is still in the healing business and there is hope in God. We want to interview her today so that she can tell about her story, tell where she was and where God has brought her to today. So this hour, this moment, we'll take this opportunity to interview her, to ask her some questions, and let her tell her story. Miss Hall.
Hello, my name is Charmain Hall, and I've been living in this area for the past 30, 34 years, 35 years. Well, I was always a very industrious person, always trying to do something with my life and so on, been going to churches after churches after churches. But the real meaning of Christianity, although I've been going to so many churches, I didn't have it. The real strength in God, I didn't have it. As we would say, and as some people would say, I was playing church, getting up on Sunday morning, dressing, getting ready, taking the kids to church. There was a point in time that I decided to get married because I want to serve God. But I wasn't getting the right thing still. However, time and time passed, and one thing led to the next, and so on, and my marriage shambled. I struggled alone continually, but something was missing. I am a very stubborn person. When I make up my mind to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I'm not going to do it, I'm going to die. So after the Ivan hurricane, I decided to take up a new port because I didn't have a job. I had a preschool, it got blown away, no help for that. So I decided to go to another port. And so I went to the United States of America. And I tell myself I'm going to work for 10 years. I was 40 at the time, 42. I decided I'm going to work for 10 years and I'm going to come back. And I'm going to settle down and relax and cock up my feet. But God didn't want it that way. I got sick twice. I got sick, which probably I should have gone to the hospital, but it didn't feel to me like a hospital run, so I didn't go. But I had a friend that when I told her about it, she said, you need to go and see the doctor. This seems like heart. I say heart, she said yes. I said no. But she continued to encourage me to go. And so I decided one Monday we're going to go walk in the hospital. So this particular Monday now I walk into the hospital. She took time off from her work and we walk into the hospital. And the nurses start taking my vitals. And all sort of things start popping up. My blood pressure was very, very high. My pulse was very low. And she said, this is not good. So they took me from there one time and they wheeled me into the emergency room. As I got into the emergency room, they took off my clothes and started sticking all these buttons with these gels on me all over my body and giving me different medication. So I took it and I lay there, and then about half an hour, two doctors came to me and said, you need a heart operation. I said, what? He said, yes. I said, when? How soon? He said, as no. I said, no. He said, yes. I said, no, I can't do that. He said, yes. And he explained to me what is wrong with the heart. He said, one half of the heart is completely dead. And he said the only reason why you wasn't feeling it is because your blood pressure always high. He said, hadn't it been for the high blood pressure, you would have just fall down and die. He said, but it would have still happened one day. Your pressure would have gone so high, you would fall down and get a stroke and just die. So I contemplated on it for the whole day. I'm in the ER. Don't know what to do because I'm there to me. I'm there alone. No family member, nobody, no nothing. And they decided not letting me go home because I wanted to go home. So they said, no, you're not going home. If you walk out of here and anything happen, then we would be responsible. So I decided to stay the night.
Did hot surgery.
Surgery, yeah.
Okay? They put in this pacemaker to help you. But a few months later on, when outside start getting cold, that pacemaker start giving trouble. But all that time you were going to work, you were moving around normally like any person. Even when they told you that they have to change that pacemaker and put on a defibrillator, defibrillator. Okay, you did not do it at that set time, but you went back to work. So tell us along that line.
Okay,
how it worked out for you.
Along that line, we had to set up a special date and on special time. So they didn't see it necessary or important. It was important, but they didn't see it to do it immediately because there is already a pacemaker there.
Okay. But the pacemaker wasn't
doing anything. It wasn't doing anything. Because they put in the pacemaker, but the pacemaker wasn't doing anything because the job the pacemaker is supposed to do, that whole side of that is completely dead. So then the pacemaker wasn't able to do anything. So I continued to go to work and so until the time for the operation for the pacemaker, for the defibrillator.
Using only 10% of your heart.
So when I did it, so I went home, feeling couple days good, couple days bad, couple days good, couple days bad. But the real thing about it is that I know it was not the same. I could have feel it in my body, it's not the same. Now my breath got shorter, to me like I got weaker, and it wasn't the same. So I asked the doctor now, I said, what chances do I have with this defibrillator? He said 30 out of 70. I said, what? I judged. I said, why didn't you tell me that before? He said, you never asked. Okay, so I went home.
So it was still a risk taking.
A risk they took. I went home. No, I got sick leave and I'm home. And it's like at that point in time, everything crumbled. When I say crumble, I mean crumble. At the point in time, I had my insurance. Now I had this insurance only for the emergency at the hospital.
Okay.
You can't use it for anything else. They call it Medicaid. While I was in the hospital, I had to renew it. I wasn't there to renew it. So coming from the hospital and coming home and meeting a bunch of males, you ain't even thinking about that. So when I got sick and I went back to the hospital, then they told me this cancer.
So your insurance was
Cancelled
while
at
you
that
were
time.
sick.
No. To me, like, the problem started because all what I do, all who I turn to, nobody could have get it back up. Because I mean, there's so many millions of people that need it. As soon as yours cancelled, they give that to somebody else.
Okay.
And it take a long time before you get back one.
Okay.
So I waited. And with that, all the problems started. To me, at a point in time, I lost my mind. I got so furious. You know, I asking myself, why me? Because I'm saying to myself, I have this problem. It wasn't bothering me. Why did I interfere with it? Why did I touch it? You know, all the time I was good, but as soon as I touch it, it was like everything in up is like an ant's nest. You're waiting just to stroke it. At night I can't sleep. Well, with pressure, then came the diabetes, and everything else just mounted upon me. And my dear, that was the beginning of the sorrow. So I did, and I continued to rally. I rally. Then I start losing the weight because I had a couple pounds. I was like 3 something. In about a week time, I lose about half of my weight, and I was eating normal. I had the thyroid. It was so huge up to here. They had to work on that. It's like everything. So then my daughter decided to come up. But before my daughter come up, actually at night I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at all at night.
So within this time, you were still with the pacemaker.
No, they took out the pacemaker
Oh,
and
you
they
did
put in
the
the
operation.
defibrillator, yeah.
Okay. So you no longer had a pacemaker, so you
No.
did the next
The
operation where they
defibrillator.
put the defibrillator within.
Mm-hmm.
And how effective was that to you?
Not effective, but not as devastating as the pacemaker. Because it started dropping from 10%, it went down to 4%.
What
With the
stopped
defibrillator.
dropping?
The defibrillator.
The heart?
The heart, yeah.
So the amount or the percentage of the usage of your heart went from 10% to 4%.
Yeah.
So how did you survive on that 4%?
Well, I'm still surviving on it. I don't know how I survive on it. What I know is that, what I believe is that Jesus that hold this in his hands. He is the one that have the answer to that. I can't answer that one.
Okay.
I can't answer to that.
So, can you tell us at that time, were you a Christian or born again?
As I said,
Mm-hmm.
I was playing church. I was.
Explain to us about playing church. What does it mean by
Okay,
playing church?
to me, playing church is like you get up in the morning, you go to church, you pray, you do all the right thing, but you go home and you do the wrong thing.
Okay.
My lifestyle was because I was married here, I wasn't divorced, and so I went up there and found myself somebody that I was living with.
Okay.
And the person was married too, but I didn't know he was married.
Okay.
And I wasn't supposed to be living that kind of life. And then getting up on Sunday morning and going to church, hallelujah, Holy Ghost falling down, and going home, back to still on the Sunday night, and getting into bed.
So you are saying to us that you are going to church, doing all the right stuff, praising God, raising the hands, falling down, but not being converted.
Not being converted. That is what I call
You are
play
not
church.
converted.
That's what I call play church, and a lot of people is doing it.
Okay.
A lot of people is doing it. So,
But within that time, was there some type of conviction?
yes, there's
God was speaking to you at that
God
time?
was speaking to me long before then. God was speaking to me and telling me give up this life. And no, I said no. The last time I remember God speaking to me, He said, give up this life. I said, God, but I love Him so much. And He said, you love Him more than me? He said, I'm a jealous God. He said, I'm going to destroy you. Now, all these things was before the operation. All these things was before the operation. I'm hearing these things and I'm observing these things and I'm still. So when the operation and everything started, I knew what was going on
Okay.
because I had information about it for myself. God doesn't do things without warning you. He don't do things without warning you. And that is when I realized all these things I was hearing, it was me that was saying it's not true, but it was true because God was talking to me. But I break stick in my ears according to the old people and do what I wanted to do. And God knew I was stubborn. I tell you already from the beginning, I'm very stubborn. So He had to bring me to a rock and a hard place for me to really cry out to Him. Otherwise, I would not have. I probably would have been still living that kind of life, or maybe dead in sin. Dead, completely dead in sin. I would have been still living that kind of life.
So people might ask the question, how do you know? Because people get sick, things happen, and they might say, not because I'm not a Christian or not living a Christian life. That happened to me. It happened to every person, all of us. So how do you know it was really God and not just you being sick and going through your process of sickness?
Okay. Every time something were to happen, I would see a result. I would get a result. The result will always be good. When you look at it from the Christian side, it will always be good. Now, that happened as I was telling with the man. He left.
Okay.
He didn't just leave and go nowhere else. He went back home to his wife and children.
Okay.
When he came to me, he didn't know nothing about the Bible. He wasn't reading the Bible. When he left, he had his Bible, he was taken to work.
Okay.
I know that is the works of
So
God.
it can only be God.
I had to move from my apartment. And it was a whole run around to move from this apartment. At the end of it, I got an apartment next door. These two people, these two women, one is a Grenadian / Trinidadian, the other one is a Ghanaian. And these two women were like dog and cat. They couldn't see each other. But for somehow, part of my sickness brought these two women like this.
Okay.
It have to be God to do that.
Okay.
Mankind cannot do that. You know? Mankind cannot do that. So, after that, there's so many other things that happened. So many other things that happened. And I knew exactly, okay, God is beating up on me now for my sins. But there will come a point, because I knew what was happening, one night I didn't have a choice. But I screamed out to God. I said, God, do what you want. I can't do it anymore. I said, take over, do what you want. I said, but I'm not turning back. Because at that point, I realized now it's me and Jesus.
So that's when you surrender.
Yes, that's when I surrender. And I say, God is me and you. I say, I'm not turning back. I'm not giving up. I said, Satan, you could do what you want. I ain't giving up. Because if God wanted me dead, trust me, I would have been dead. If God wanted me dead, I would have been dead. When I was in the hospital doing my operation, my sister told me twice they'd call in red alert for me. She thought I was dead. Twice they called in red alert. When I came from the hospital about 2 weeks after, I fell into a coma. I fell into a coma for like 5 days. I was in a coma.
Okay, like after you did the second operation.
I went into a coma, and when I got up, when I recovered, then is when I really became more serious. That is when I became more serious, and I knew all this is God. Because at the end of the day, everything pointed me straight to Jesus. Nothing wasn't pointing me on the side here, on the side. Everything was straight to Jesus.
You told us before when we came and spoke to you that something happened that brought you back while you were in the coma. Can you relate that?
I was just laying there. I don't know what one. People say they go in coma and they see this and they see that. I didn't see anything. But that time my daughter came up and I'm laying there and I heard my first landlord. She called me. She said, Charmain, we love you. Come back. Come. We love you. Don't go. She said, come. But she was sounding like if she talking and she walking away. I can't tell you how long it was after. And I hear my daughter say, Mommy, we love you. And she sniffed. So I said, that's Colleen. Immediately I knew the voices, And I opened my eyes, I blinked, I looked at her and I went back. And then the third time it was Colleen again. She said, Mommy, we love you, come, please, we need you. So when I opened my eyes the third time, she was there. And her son was in her lap kneeling and she was holding my hand. And when I opened my eyes, I saw them. And so I tried to sit up, but I couldn't sit up. Because everybody knew I died. Everybody knew I died. It was just a matter of time for the breath to leave me. My whole body was completely stiff. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't even do this because everything from here go right down was so stiff. I couldn't move. And I just wanted to get up to hug her, but I couldn't. I couldn't move. And I stayed there for a little bit, went back to sleep for how long, I don't know. And when I do wake up and I recovered fully, she started looking at me and I started talking. There wasn't much I could remember. As I said, like I went senile. Like I went crazy. There wasn't much I could have remembered at the time, but as time goes by, it starts coming back, little by little by little.
Your memory comes.
Yes. Because I noticed, number one, I am not in my room. I said, but this is not my bedroom. What am I doing in the kitchen? And I'm thinking about what outside look like. So one day, about 5 days after, I called her. I said, Colleen. She said, yes, Mommy. I said, where am I? She said, in America. I said, America? What am I doing in America? She said, Mommy, yes, you're in America, I said, really? She said, yes. And then I started tracking the people that I work with, and so on. Who's the last person I work with, and so forth. And it all came up until about 5 days after that, I was in the kitchen baking for Christmas. Yeah. 5 days after that, I was in the kitchen baking.
So after you came from the hospital?
After I came from the coma.
Came out from the coma,
I had the
5
coma
days.
home.
You had the coma home. Okay. Was it a seizure or something that
I don't know what
caused?
caused it. I don't know.
All what you knew that
All I knew, I woke up
in
and
the hospital.
I woke up home. I couldn't go back to the hospital
Okay.
because in the hospital they give me up for dead. Yeah, they give me about 6 to 7 days in the hospital. So they decided to send me in a place they call a hospice. A hospice is a place, it's like similar to a hospital, but it's very nice and pretty and clean. Your family could come and stay with you until you pass away, your loved ones and so. But as I say, knowing me, I decide not to go to the hospice. I say, no, I'm not going. I'm not going to no hospice. So then they asked me, what am I going to do? Because you ain't working, how you going to pay rent? I said, well, in the meantime I've been here, I didn't eat all my money, I saved something. So I'm going to pay my rent until I can't make it no more. When I can't make it no more, something else would happen by then. And they went at home. They had to bring all the oxygen. They had to bring the chair, the bed, because I couldn't lay on a flat bed. I had to lay on a special bed like what they have in the hospital. You wind it up. You can't breathe so much. Most of the time you have to sit up. So they brought everything home, but they couldn't put it in the bedroom because the bedroom had a bed already, and you didn't have room to hold this other bed. So that's how I ended up asking myself what I'm doing in the kitchen. The kitchen was an open area with the drawing room and everything. So they had to set up everything in the living room, in the drawing room. So where you sit in the drawing room, you could see into the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in relating this source, you are saying that you got sick at home, were taken to the hospital, but because you were in that coma, they gave up the hospital, up
No,
on
I
you.
wasn't in the coma yet.
You were not in the
I
coma
wasn't in
as
the
yet.
coma yet. No, that is after I did the operation and everything, and I was asking them if there's anything else they could do. And they tell me no, that there's nothing they could do.
Okay.
They said no, there's nothing they could do. And what the doctors came back and they said, sorry, there's nothing we can do. So I stood up. I got these two hands up in the air as far as I could push it. And I said, Lord, you said when everything else failed, try Jesus.
Okay.
So I think from there I started recognizing the holiness of Jesus.
Okay.
And then is when they tell me, well, okay, you could go home, but if anything happened, you can't come back to the hospital because we're giving you up to the hospice.
Okay, so
I
it's
went
like
home.
they give you up.
Yes. So
Okay.
I went home.
So you went back home.
I went home and the hospice took over.
Okay.
They
So
provided
home,
everything. They provided a nurse, the doctor,
okay,
the caretaker, the cleaner, everything they provided. They were very good. So this Jewish lady that was taking care of me, she was a nurse. When she realized how I was getting better, she told the doctor, no, he couldn't believe it, but he never accepted it. He said that is just chance. That is just a chance. Yeah, because he don't want to hear nothing about God. So he's saying that is just a chance. That is just a chance. But it wasn't chance. God knew what he was doing. God knew what he was doing.
okay.
So after everything went on and the different things and the coma scene and everything,
So then after you had the coma, okay.
then
So when they give you up to bed, you went back home, following that you had a coma for the 5 days. But while in the coma, where were you? Were you at home?
I was home.
Oh, so they was taking care of you
Yes, home. That's what I'm telling you. Yes. Didn't take me back to the hospital.
But you did recover from the coma.
From the coma, right,
Okay.
home. Yeah, because my pastor said he came and looked for me. And he said, when he passed her, and he said, Sister Charmain, your feet was very cold. He said, everything about you was so cold. And he said the wife started telling him, no, she can't go, she can't go. So he said the wife is, she's a kind of therapeutic masseuse person. She got a CD and she put it in one of those players. And she put it right up to my head and she turned it on. And that is what pulled me out of the coma.
So the music helped
Yes,
pull you out
yes,
of the coma.
yes.
Okay.
So she was telling Colleen, anytime anything like that happened to me again, use this strategy. She said it helped take you out of the coma.
Okay.
So after that, and I came out of the coma, they started calling me Miracle Lady. Because a lot of people that came and see me couldn't believe they were just waiting to get the news that I died to go to funeral. But God said no. God said no. So after that, we stayed around, and everything's still, so go up and down, up and down. We trying. Then I decided to come home. It was a task for me to, give up and come home, because everybody started telling me, back home, you don't have good medical, and you could get medical here. Why you would leave it and go home? I said that is one point, but when I can't pay the rent, who is going to take me in? Nobody's going to take me in, so let me go home. I say if I have to die, I will die. I say if I have to die, I'm going to die. And when my pastor told me, Sister Charmain, I don't want to go home because I feel more comfortable with you here, I said something to him. Maybe he didn't feel comfortable. I said, but you don't have no faith. I said, look at all what God pulled me through. I said, I've been in a coma for 5 days. Without a doctor looking at me, without no medication. I said, and you talking about going home, about medication? I said, if God wanted to kill me, he would have killed me already from since beginning, because I said that. He didn't tell me he would kill me, he told me he's going to destroy me. You understand me? And I believe it, and I say, if God wants to keep me, God is going to keep me. I say, home, boom, I'm coming. So we decide now, oxygen is the next thing. The doctor say I can't fly with the oxygen because the oxygen that I'm using and what's on the plane is different. So I decide I'm going to work on that. I start taking it off, going up to the bedroom, lay down, spend 10 minutes, go back down, put it on. I start doing that for a while. After 10 minutes, I start going 15 minutes. I start going 20 minutes. And Colleen quarreling, Mommy, don't take up the thing. You hear them people say you can't take it off. I said, Colleen, sweetheart, I know my body. When I'm ready to put it back on, I'm going to put it on. Until one day the doctor came and he tested me and he said, wow, somebody could fly now. I said, really? He said, yes, your oxygen went down tremendously. I said, thank God. He turned here and he just watched me and he turned back and he wrote what he was writing. And with that, the same night, I said, Colleen, no, we're looking for flight, we're going home. Because to come home, it would have been like 75,000 US dollars to hire one of those air jet to bring me home. And I had 75,000 cents. So we decided we're going to start looking for flight now. Looking for flight that said night. JetBlue had a flight on. JetBlue had a flight on. It was $119 to come to Grenada. That was a steal. I said, Colleen, take it. She said, Mommy, Lord, we had to pack you, Lord, yeah, all these things, your mattress, yeah, all these things to pack. I said, we're going to make it. And I get up and we just start packing. I just start packing. I get the boxes, I start packing, and we do everything. Yeah. And here I am today.
Okay. Taking one step back, you said that while you were sick, the doctor started telling you that you had high blood pressure, diabetes, and all of the stuff. One of the things that you told us that you also had cancer. How did that come about?
COPD. That is from secondhand smoking.
So,
Because I never smoked.
okay.
I never smoked in my life. That is from inhaling the cigarette from other people smoking. I never had a man that smoked either. Never.
So knowing
So
that,
it is so strange for me to grasp that.
okay.
It's very, very strange for me to grasp it. But I know it's there. I'm not claiming it anyway.
Okay. Because what I was saying is that, so on top of all the other sicknesses and process that you were going through, here comes
Another one, another build-up.
Okay. But through it all, you still trust God.
Yes.
At any point you thought about giving up, about
Never.
just letting go, turning over and saying, God, I had enough?
No.
Because
not me. I don't do this. So
I'm going through the situation, and it's like one after the next, one after the next. Yes, you brought me through the coma, but then I have cancer now. My heart rate, I can only use up to how much percentage right now? 4% of my heart rate is working. So you just keep on believing God, just trusting Him, knowing that He will take you through. Okay? So you got back to Grenada through the help of God, and I heard that you were planting and...
Yeah, I came back and I have some place to testify. I had corn there, I had peas, I had okra, and I have a lot in the back.
Okay.
I have tanya, peas, name it, potato. You can't believe the amount of things that I got since I came back here from the garden. I planted a lot of things. But what really give me this heave back here now is that I'm not supposed to be stressed. Once I get too stressful, I would get sick. The sun, too much of the sun is not good for me. So most of the time you pass to see me inside in the window, it's just there I have to stay. They would tell me because I don't have an AC, I full buckets and so of water and put it all about on the floor to hold on the heat.
Okay.
The coldness is too much of the coldness is not good also. So I would have stayed in the States, but I would have had to either bundle up too much or naked too much. Anyway, I made it through. I made it, and it's a year past since I'm here.
Okay.
It's a year past since I'm here. And even if God takes me today, I still say that I came out victorious.
Amen.
I came out victorious. The story is a big story. The story is a big story. But to cover it all, I would have to sit down and take the whole day to cover this story. It's a very wide something. I can't tell you everything that went on. Yeah.
Okay. But one other thing that you said to us before, even through the sickness and illness, you went out and you start proclaiming Jesus.
Yes. I used to take the bus because the bus stop wasn't far from where I'm living. Living here, the bus stop is by Miss Jones' house. So I used to go and take the bus and get on it to go down by King's Plaza. And I used to preach on the bus. Tell people the goodness of God. Tell them, look where God has taken me from. Look what I just come through. And Grenada is a small place. You don't have a place as Grenada. America is a much bigger place, huge. So you could afford to talk to people. You know, when you're talking, people going to listen because the bus is always full. These buses here, before you go into them, they're full of music, boom, 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 boom. You can ask them to turn it on. But in America, they can't put on a radio in their bus. You can't do it. You know, the government would not. That's not something they allow. If you have music, it's from your cell phone or whatever. But to say the bus in itself have music, no, you don't get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you told people about the goodness of God.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
But right now, how do you feel in body? How do
in
you
body,
feel?
as I told you from beginning, I never felt anything like to say, okay, I feel. There are times you get a little pain. There are times you know you feel a little down. There are times in the morning I wake up, I don't push it.
Okay.
I don't push myself. If I can't do it, I just can't do it. I just leave it alone. Yeah, just leave it alone.
Okay. And knowing now that you cannot go out to church, knowing now that you cannot go out to church, how is your spiritual life with Christ?
I wish it could be better. I wish it could be better, but I have to say thank God I have a dear sister that never leave me alone. She always, whether it's night, whether it's day, she always come. She always come and visit and pray, and we read and we chat and we sing, and we have a little spirit time in the Lord. And I have to say so much thanks to her for that. To me, she's the one person that understands, something that is in me because of the music and all the different things and whatever is in here, the battery and everything. I cannot go to,
church.
yes, the music with all the bass and everything, and I can't go. So,
Okay, so what, as we come to the conclusion, what do you want the viewers to get out of all of this?
I want them to know that Jesus is Lord. Jesus Christ is alive. And one day somebody told me, you exercise some crazy faith. I would like the viewers to do the same thing. Crazy faith is what we call it. You just get up and tell yourself it's going to work. And challenge God. We have to challenge God. I did. I challenged him when the doctor said that there's nothing they could do for me. I said, God, you better do something. Because I go tell people you're a liar. And we know you cannot lie. Because you told me that I am healed. You told me all these good stuff. So why now you wouldn't come to my rescue? And I just left it like that. I never, some people just have sick. They're sick and they pray and they had to bawl and they had to snatch and go over toilet bowl and vomit and all those things. I never did that. I made one prayer, Bev, and God, as God is a witness, one prayer. And I said, God, whatever you want to do, you do it. It's up in your hands. What could I do? If you say no, could I say yes? How could I say yes?
So you just turn it over
I just
to him.
leave it to him and I forget it.
Okay.
That is what you call crazy faith. Just leave it. Just leave it to him. And you don't go and pray 2 and 3 and 4 times. I have a sister from Nicaragua. She used to go to church, different churches. From the time she hear about healing and praying and fasting, she reaching. First time she encouraged me to go to one church, I went. There was this Trinidadian guy that came up, preach, preach, preach. I don't know if she told him about me before or what. But from the time he finished preach, he called me up. So okay, I get up and I went up to the front of the church. And with that, he said, wait. He called up the whole church, everybody. He touched them, he touched them, he touched them, he touched them, who fall down, who spin around, who this, who that, who the other. And at the end of the day, he came to me and he said to me, he said, as for you, he said, I can't touch you. He said, I can't touch you. He said, you had too much complication. He said, you had to reach to God for yourself. But he realized he couldn't touch me because his spirit and mind wasn't the same. He couldn't touch me. All those that he touched was something else. And I had a sister, and we were going to the same church. We were about the same age. And she would come to church all the time, and she would be crying. And I wonder why is she crying like that every time she come to church. I wonder why she would cry like that. So this one day, we had something in the church, and they had this brother that preached, and she told me, she said, I want to talk to you. She said, I really want to talk to you. So I want to know why she want to talk to me. And she said to me, there's something I need you to know. She said, for the longest while, she said something eating me up. I said, what it is? She said, I was living an adulterous life. She said, I met this man, and the man have his wife. He tell her he married, but he and the wife not living together. And I remember in myself now. But he told her he go divorce the wife and marry her. All the time he knew he was lying to her out of his skin of his teeth. She went with him. December. She went with him, hoping to see him for the New Year. For the New Year, she didn't hear him. She called the phone, no answer. No answer. And so she decided to leave it when he ready, he would call. And he never called. And one day, she met his friend. And the friend told her, accept my sympathy. She said, accept my sympathy for what the man did. Dead as a herring. Because why? He was doing this abomination. Lying to her. And knowing that he was wrong. So God removed him. God removed him out of the picture. And she was crying because she said all what was going on in her life with this man, she never led him to Christ. She never led him to Christ. And so that come as a weapon now, and she keep crying every day because she should have talked to him about Jesus Christ, even if he had to leave and go back and make up with his wife, then she would have feel much better. So that is where the story went. And I say, my God, what a God we serve. God could have taken her life instead.
Mm-hmm.
But God didn't want to take her life. Took his life. So God is a good God. We need to serve him more, surrender more to him, and give him all the best that we have. Because there is nothing we can give God. There is nothing we could give God. That is why he have Jesus Christ as a mediator between us and him, to pray, to plead
Our cause.
our cause on our behalf to him. Because he said all our goodness is as filthy rags. There's nothing good we could do for God to see us. God will never see us because we're so wicked and evil. And after all of these things has happened, and I sit down and I look back at everything, I say, it reached to a point where I hate sin so much now. I don't hate people, but when I look at them and I see what they're doing and I know it's sinful, oh my gosh, it reaches up to here. It reaches up to my neck. I know it's not right. But as I said, we just have to leave it in the hands of God. Just have to leave it in the hands of God. I leave everything in the hands of God. Something happened, I pray about it, and I leave it right there.
Okay.
Let God do what He wants to do. I don't care what you do is your business. Use my master. So that's the end of this for today. I hope we will have a next session again sometime at part 2. So put in what we left out, because there is so much that has been left out. I want to get the whole story, but you can't get the whole story in. So maybe next time. But people, stay up, be blessed, in Jesus' name.
Okay, so we would like to thank Ms. Charmain for her testimony today. And as viewers look on, we hope that your life will be changed somehow. You will come to know the Lord as your Savior and Master. That hope will be rebuilt no matter how far you went, no matter how far you have gone. God, He never give up on us. He will never leave us, He said, neither forsake us. He will be with us always, even to the end. Okay? Don't look at your sicknesses or your situation as something that you cannot make it. But push on. Press on. God is there and He will help you. As Sister Charmain testified of what God has done for her, so He can do even more for you. Thank you.